Yes, guys, what's happening? Larry Olubami Wall from the Gym Rat Pack here on my lonesome, giving you my perspective on everything entertainment, especially movies and TV. Now, entertainment being the operative word. This topic is going to be about Vince McMahon, the CEO, should I say former CEO of the World Wrestling Entertainment company. Obviously, it used to be called WWF, which is what I was used to when I was a kid. But he's retiring, and anyone that I haven't really been following this story, I've just seen this story come up. But anyone that's been following the story about Vince McMahon recently will realize why he's going to retire. But anyway, let me read you the story from Variety. And it says, Vince McMahon announced that he is retiring from WWE amid the ongoing misconduct investigation being undertaken by the company's board of directors. As I approach 77 years old, I feel it's time for me to retire as chairman and CEO of WWE, McMahon said in a statement released by the sports entertainment company. Throughout the years, it's been a privilege to help WWE bring you joy, inspire you, thrill you, surprise you, and always entertain you. I would like to thank my family for mightily contributing to our success. And I would also like to thank all of our past and present superstars and employees for their dedication and passion for our brand. Most importantly, I would like to thank our fans for allowing us into your homes every week and being your choice of entertainment. I hold the deepest appreciation and admiration for our generations of fans all over the world who have liked, currently like, and sometimes even love our form of sports entertainment. McMahon's retirement comes after it was announced in June that he would be stepping down from his roles as chairman and CEO of WWE amid an ongoing investigation into allegations that he paid out millions of dollars to multiple women to keep quiet about alleged affairs and misconduct. The Wall Street Journal reported that McMahon ultimately paid a fee of $12 million as part of the agreements. He remained on board as head of creative since then, but he will now be exiting that role as well. McMahon went on to say in his statement that his daughter, Stephanie, and WWE President Nick Khan would serve as co-CEOs upon his departure, with Stephanie also serving as chairwoman. She had been named interim CEO when her father initially stepped down. Since taking the company public, McMahon remains WWE's biggest shareholder. Surprise, surprise. Our global audience can take... I'm not going to bother reading the rest of this. This is... it says it will send shockwaves, third generation, blah, blah, blah. Attitude Era, yeah. Anyway... what do I think of all this? I used to be a huge wrestling fan. Up until the end of the Attitude Era, where I think we saw the best of Stone Cold and the best of The Rock. And then the introduction and furthering on of John Cena. That's kind of when I checked out because the storylines were just getting ridiculous. The storylines are always a little bit ridiculous, but with the Attitude Era, it was kind of like, I don't know, man. It was for a young man like myself back then. It was edgy, and I think that edge took away from a lot of the corniness that was going on in the storylines, or some of the idiocy that was going on in the storylines. And then, it just got ridiculous after the Attitude Era, because obviously they had to try and make up for not being able to be, for being PG-13, basically. So Yeah. Now, I wasn't aware of Vince McMahon being under investigation for bribing women to keep quiet about alleged sexual misconduct with them until I read this article earlier, because I read it a little earlier before doing this topic. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. If any, like I said, if you watched Vince McMahon, especially during the Attitude Era, you will see that he took a lot of liberties, not just with women, but with all sorts of wrestlers, especially regarding their race. He even used the N word on a few occasions, which was highly, highly inappropriate. Um, this doesn't shock me. This doesn't shock me at all. And I would actually go out on a limb and say he is probably guilty. He's a billionaire at the end of the day, and he sees himself a lot younger than he actually is, and with the amount of beautiful women that he hangs around with, that he employs, with someone like him, it's inevitable that he's going to dabble, um, and it's inevitable also that the females that he's been with will extort him. It is the nature of the beast when it comes to the wrestling and entertainment world, for that matter. So yeah, but I think he's probably guilty of the misconduct. I mean, he's been guilty of so many things. I mean, it's not a big deal for me anyway. But remember the steroid trials back in the day when he was accused of giving some of his WWE or WWF at the time superstars steroids via a certain doctor, and they got Hulk Hogan on the stand, and he had to admit that Vince McMahon didn't give him anything, but that he used steroids. And even Vince McMahon had to admit that he used steroids. I mean, if you see the guy's physique even now at 77, it's ridiculous. Of course, he had to use something, but yeah, even that for a big CEO like him to come out and admit that was a big deal. And there's been numerous. We all know about the Montreal screw job and various other scandals that have happened on his watch, and notably by him, or was sanctioned by him. So this really doesn't surprise me. Going forward, do I see this hurting the WWE brand and wrestling in general? Somewhat. Because Vince, you got to understand, Vince McMahon is such a figurehead of not just the WWE, but of wrestling. If once you mention professional wrestling to someone, he's one of the first names that crop up. Along with The Rock and Stone Cold, he's one of the first names that will crop up. He's synonymous with professional wrestling. I think it will hurt the WWE brand quite a bit. I know Stephanie's been involved in the back room and in front of the camera, and she's very versed in the company. And obviously she's got Triple H there as a husband to help her, being an ex wrestler himself and still being involved, especially behind the scenes. But yeah, I also wonder, by the way, his son Shane, have they had a falling out? You guys let me know, because I haven't been following wrestling for the longest time. So let me know if they've had a falling out, because I've not seen or heard of Shane for the longest time. And at one time, he was very prominent, with his dad in front of the camera. So yeah, I do think it will hurt the brand. And I do think, generally speaking, it will hurt wrestling. I think the money might go down. Because the thing about Vince McMahon is that he was willing to take risks. You see it all throughout his career. He's done it with the XFL, with the WBF, the Bodybuilding Federation, and on just various superstars throughout the years, and paying them, massive amounts compared to what they were used to. he revolutionized professional wrestling. You know, before him, professional wrestling was always a territorial thing, and he made it so that, you know, his brand was worldwide. Um, Going forward, do I think Stephanie will have his sort of outlook? Probably not. She's safe. Like when Vince McMahon was doing his thing, he had a lot of competition. He had to he was hungry, basically. You know, Stephanie would be taking control of the premier wrestling company on the planet. So what hunger does she have to change things up, try new things, take some risks? I doubt she has much ambition to do that. So I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, end of an era, as they say. As Leon would say, also the dirty bamba hole has obviously been sampling the goods in his wrestling company. But yeah, listen, it is what it is. We know what Vince McMahon's like. He's probably guilty. Let's see what they find out in this investigation, and let's see what happens with WWE and wrestling in general going forward. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about all this. Do you think Vince McMahon is guilty of this misconduct? And what do you think about him retiring and what it means for the WWE brand and for wrestling in general? Leave your comments down below and let us know, please, yeah?